I'm here, and our guitarist is here, and our bassist and drummer are like pulling up. Yeah, I'm in Chicago too, so like that's so cool. Yeah, we're from the South Side of Chicago. So, well, I'm born and raised in the South Side of Chicago. My bandmates are like a little farther from the suburbs, but like we're all relatively around like 45 minutes away from each other. When we first started rehearsing at all, like I didn't have like a cool place to practice music or anything. I was practicing music in my shitty apartment with that had like really bad power too. So like if you plug too much stuff in, the outlets would kind of like start smoking and stuff. I didn't have a lot of money either. So a lot of the instruments I had were either borrowed or I had gotten them at pawn shops. So yeah, I had met our guitarist Adam at a show at the House of Blues. What was it? Was it like Korn? We were singing. I think it was like a Korn cover band, something like that.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was really cool. I had seen him. I thought he was really cool, and then like I invited him to. Hey, oh my God, our drummer's here. He's here. Like met Adam at the House of Blues and shit, and hey, what's up? And yeah, he was cool enough to like drive like an hour out to my house to just like make music and stuff. And I was like very kind of like shy about it too, because I didn't live in like a fancy house and I didn't have any like fancy instruments. And then Adam and we went through like a lot of the hassle. Yeah, so like I was saying, so I started making music with Adam over here, this one right there. And yeah, and him and I, we struggled a lot with finding musicians. Okay, you can listen to the sound of my voice. You don't really need to see me. Yeah, so we started like making music with a lot of different musicians, and like, you know, sometimes when doing music, not all the musicians work out. And Adam see me like struggling and stuff like that, and he was just like, hold on, I know like some really good guys that might be like a positive contribution. And then he brought in Axel, and Axel is like the best drummer I have ever had. Right. And it's so heartwarming to be able to work with musicians that, you know, just kind of like get you, you know, and they just like bring the right vibe and have like that special amount of skill. And then it was me, Axel, and Adam. And then Adam also brought in our bassist, which will be coming in soon. His name is Sam. So Sam's really groovy. He's super groovy, and he does nothing but like bring positive energy. And when you have like all the right energies in a room, it just makes it really easy to create. And yeah. So yeah, it started from nothing. This whole band was basically built on scratch. So
when did you start? Like, what year was that?
Oh my goodness!
On that cohesive unit.
So Adam and I started making music in, I want to say 2018, and we went through like, you know, amount of musicians that didn't work. And then when him and I were making music, our band was called Weapons. And then once we brought in Axel, the whole energy just changed. And then I feel like it was a mutual feeling that perhaps the name Weapons didn't match the energy of the music. So then Axel was like, hey, like, what about the name ALENIA? And I was just like, wow, it's like a really cool name. And then he was like describing the meaning of it, which basically means the birth of an idea. And we just all kind of felt that matched our, just matched what we were doing in general a lot better. So it was Adam and I in 2018, and Axel's been with us since late 2019.
Last year.
Yeah, I would say late 2019, late 2019. So it's definitely taken some time for us to get where we are today.
Yeah, we all so awesome. I was so excited to see that last weekend y'all released your single, and then followed that up with the lyric video. Super excited about that. And I was really shocked when I first heard the single. Like, it was almost like a trap kind of beat going on.
Yeah.
I was really digging it. I was like, okay, I'm digging it. And then it just like, boom, just like goes in. Just into this like beautiful, like almost like operatic, like super rad sound. So when you switched from like Weapons to ALENIA, was there also like a sound change, or how would you describe your overall sound?
I feel like, that's a really good question. I'm not sure how to answer. I know we all come from different musical backgrounds. And when working with musicians, what I do, or even when I didn't even know what I was doing, one thing I just always wanted to incorporate is each musician that comes in, I wanted them to incorporate their own unique style. Because if they incorporate their own unique style, it's going to give the overall product a unique seasoning that's going to be hard to, it's going to be hard for it to be copied, it's going to be unique. So I'm originally inspired by a lot of new metal, lots of death rock and black metal, and doom metal as well. And then Adam, what are you inspired by?
Everyone want to share what they're inspired by.
Yeah.
A lot of like progressive metal and a little bit of like gent metal, but my roots kind of like come from like metalcore.
Okay.
I kind of evolved over time through that. So.
What about you?
Yeah, I mean, the same thing. Just like Adam, I've known this guy for such a long time. I feel like our kind of taste in music is pretty damn similar. So yeah.
Yeah, I felt like when it was just Adam and I in Weapons, it was more of a little bit, I would say, like experimental. Like, he was really good at interpreting. He's so good at interpreting the ideas that we have, because we could literally just hum it out or tap it out, or just give him like a simple gist of what we want, even if it's a few keys. And he's just able to take that simple idea and like turn it into like a masterpiece. It's really cool. So I feel like we started off kind of like experimenting a bit. And to me, it kind of had like new metal influences, but it was kind of like very solid to me. It was like deathcore a bit, or I even had people label it as death metal. And now, like, that's another thing that we were having a discussion about, is that like, what genre do we identify as? I know that we incorporate a lot of different styles, and that like falls along the lines of progressive. And yeah, I'm not 100% sure what it is, but I guess if we were to label it, I think it would be like new progressive deathcore or progressive metalcore, but what would you label it as if you had to?
You're in your bio, y'all say progressive deathcore. Mm-hmm. That makes sense to me.
Okay. That's good to hear.
But that trap beat at the beginning, I was like, that was a really nice like flavor added on to there. It's like, okay, I see where they're going here. That just makes me excited to see like what other tracks. What's that?
That makes you want to dance first before you start headbanging.
Yeah.
The funny story about that is that it was me, Sam, and Axel. We were sitting on a Discord meeting with our producer. And Adam was just like he already recorded his part. He was just tired, and I think he had to like take a nap for work. So that meant that it was me, Axel, and Sam like listening to the Discord meeting, and our producer was like, "Do you like this beat? Do you like that beat?" And then we're like, "Damn, that beat sounds sick." And then I was like, "Man, can we leave that there?" And then Axel was like, "Yeah, let's fucking leave that there." And then I remember when Adam heard it, he's like, "What?" But you know what? Even though it was just like, like, what is this, or whatnot. But I think we just thought it sounded good. We just liked it. It had like a good groove to it. I've had a few people tell me the same thing. Like, I didn't know what kind of song it was gonna be because of the track beat, but that shit went hard.
It did. It really did. I was happy to see the lyric video follow up too. I always loved it, just like going deep into the lyrics. You talk about like a phoenix rising, the end of days, frostbitten skin, and blood in the current. Like there's so many different like cool images. What headspace were y'all in the time of making this song, and what energy did you want to convey through the song itself?
That's a beautiful question. That's a deep question. The song is called Bow to None, and I wanted it to be a significant mark that that an individual should take pride in what they are and never feel as if they should lower themselves to anyone, anything, or any standard, you know? I wanted the song to be able to remind people that they have the power inside of them to defeat and to conquer everything. The reason why I like making music, or I try and put so much of me into the lyrics, is because my goal is to empower other people. I want people to be able to hear our music, feel it, and then like walk away inspired. You know, like sometimes I feel like we all need reminders that, you know, we are invincible. And I just wanted that song to be a reminder. Another thing too is like in life, sometimes we don't have the knowledge to overcome situations, and we have to make those mistakes in order to get the knowledge. And I kind of wanted to imply that as well. You know, like sometimes making mistakes will give you the knowledge to overcome and, you know, have power, because you know, as humans, we're flawed by design. But just because we're flawed, that doesn't mean that it's something negative. It's something that we should take pride in. All of our flaws, all our, you know, like we don't have to be ashamed of them or be ashamed of ourselves.
Yeah, that's really beautiful, and I think you definitely accomplished that in this song. One line I just want to like bring attention to that I really loved, in particular. The universe holds the key deep down in the belly of the beast. I stand before you, relentless, undefeated. There are no footsteps in the sand. We only end to begin again. I feel like that's exactly what you just described, you know?
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I mean, that was also like the bridge, so it was definitely like the most bomb part. Like it was really went in with that part of the song. But yeah, just that feeling, it felt really powerful to me when I heard that.
Thank you.
Hold the music. I'm speaking.
Yeah. No, honestly, I was imagining like being in a church or something in a pew, and like you were just like singing a word, and like this message was directly to your audience, directly to your fans, like that.
It was. I really just wanted to be able to, you know, sometimes we just need to hear it, and you know, sometimes, you know, I just wanted to say it loud enough to where everybody could hear it, you know, like just because whether it's something personal that you're going through, whether it's death, you know, no matter what it is, it's like the circle of life, you know, I don't, you know, and it's just like, even if one chapter closes, another one is going to open, you know? So yeah, I just really, I really wanted that line to, I wanted somebody to feel it. So thank you so much.
Yeah, of course, I felt it. Yeah, I think you're totally right. We're definitely living in a super difficult time, especially related to COVID. Hey, what's up? I see you back there. Is that Sammy the Whammy?
This is Sammy the Whammy. Tune it in.
Tuning in. What's up? Welcome. Glad to have you. So we're, you know, living in this difficult time related to COVID. As an artist, how do you all see the future of live music? You kind of mentioned that like we're at this like point where like a breaking point almost, like new beginnings are kind of starting up. How do you see the future?
You guys, I feel like you guys should answer that, and then I'll put my input in.
I do feel like, you know, shows are kind of being focused on like streams and things like that. There's nothing wrong with that, you know, whatever it takes to be safe to get through this pandemic. But at the same time, it'd be really nice to have shows, of course, but only not until people are vaccinated, everything is safe, you know?
Right.
But at the same time, you know, Chicago plans on opening up fully by July 4th.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, all of those people who are fully vaccinated can then attend concerts and do things like that.
While also staying safe, of course.
Of course, that's never going to win.
Yeah.
I think that, like, I honestly think that shit's gonna go crazy because all of us, crazy metalheads, crazy, you know, artists and stuff like that, we have all of this energy built up inside of us that we're just like ready to go ham. We're ready to unleash the beast into the world, you know? And I feel like when that moment does come, it's gonna be vibrant and it's gonna be beautiful, you know? But like I know that like COVID still does exist and we still have to take the obvious precautions. You know, it's just like, yeah, have a good time, go crazy in the pit or whatnot. But like also, you know, be considerate, you know, don't be a douche about it.
Let's make sure we can all be a community, whether we're in the pit or we're at a restaurant or we're at a venue.
Yeah, for sure.
To make sure everyone can be comfortable and be safe.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of my writing I did creative writing and stuff like that was during COVID, and I felt that like that whole hardship that everyone has suffered through has brought, it's unfortunate, yes, but I do feel as if it's brought a lot of inspiration to a lot of artists. And I've been listening to a lot of beautiful songs that have been made. I've been seeing beautiful art, you know, it's unfortunate, but I've seen a lot of beauty and strength come from it as well.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, it's my cat. Hey, buddy. So, what is your advice to creators? And I guess this is a question for all of you who kind of, like you mentioned, like feel sort of either wiped out and maybe not as inspired, maybe a little nervous about the future. Like, what is your advice to them to kind of get them through until we can open back up? And you know,
I think that like manifesting would be a great thing to do. Manifest all of your creativity and just do everything you can to fuel it. Even if you're not sharing it with the world, just get your ideas out and just, you know, even if like the situation that we're in has you in a creative block, I think the other best thing to do is be patient with yourself and be patient with the others creating around you. So manifestation and patience for sure. And I also think that there's other, sorry, I also think that, you know, there's other outlets, you know, like even though you can't perform live in a venue, you could still, there are still ways to share your music and creations with the world. What we're going through at the moment is temporary. I think that's a very important thing for people to remember, that this struggle, everything that's going on is just temporary. What about you guys?
Pretty much everything you said, but at the same time, because it's temporary, you know, get all your ideas out, yes, but just make sure that you're staying dedicated and motivated. Spend all of this time to write and to get all of your musical ideas forward. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, just play your instrument. If anybody that's out there during quarantine, during COVID, there's not much to do, just play your instrument. Practice makes perfect. So, you know, just keep at it. And like I said, like she was saying, manifest all of your feelings into your instrument and, you know, write or your art or whatever you do. You know, it'll be okay eventually.
What about you, Sam?
And there's literally a community based around almost every alternative outlet you can think of, whether it's painting, poetry, rap, producing, whatever you can think of. So if there's any way that people need to reach out, or if people need more help with their motivation, there are people out here that are willing to be ears, extra eyes, and to, you know, see if we can help each other.
Yeah, I think that's a brilliant statement right there, because I was actually just thinking that like another thing to do is support. And by support, it doesn't always mean that like you have to buy merch or like, you know, you have to spend money. I know time is rough right now, but like just liking, someone's stuff that sharing, you know, giving them words of motivation, maybe some friendly advice. You know, I feel like we're a community. As musicians, we're a community. And I think that as a whole, we should be building each other up, especially in times like these.
Yeah, absolutely. And it kind of feels like the internet has been a way to kind of like strengthen those communities, right? Like social media. How do you feel about the way the internet in general, broadly speaking, has impacted the music business?
May I say something?
Yeah, go for it.
Go. Instagram, Facebook, and even sometimes Snapchat Live is popping. There's so many people.
Noted.
Again, whether they're poets, painters, whether they're people that do prose, whether they're people that make music in whatever genre. So many people have more outlets to utilize. So even if you can't get in front of people, you can still kind of get in front of people's eyes, in front of people's ears. You can still, the influence is still there. You just know how to be comfortable with yourself before you put so much out as well.
Yeah, and be strategic as well, right?
Exactly.
So what's on the horizon for y'all? What do you have to say to folks that are listen to Bow to None and they're like, all right, I'm itching and I'm scratching, like, give me more.
We got their fix, bro.
There's definitely gonna be more.
Yeah, we have a lot of music that we're working on at the moment, and just be patient. You know, once everything's finished and recorded and we're ready to release it, we'll let you guys know.
Yeah, I also think that, like, man, we put so like shit. I greatly appreciate our audience and our listeners. With all of my heart. I believe that they only deserve the best. That's all I would want to give our audience is the best. So, and that, it takes a lot of time, energy, patience, and money to create the sounds that everyone hears. So like we tend to take a little bit of time and all that extra tender loving care into the music that we make, which is why we don't really just like release songs like
willy-nilly.
Like it's
willy-nilly.
Yeah. Like we want to make sure we put all of our effort into every riff.
Yeah.
Every timing we're changing anything, like all of it. We don't want to put anything out that's just, here, I wrote something. Here it is, guys.
Yeah, we really do put our all into it. And our goal is to make each track, better than the last. So yeah,
as well as memorable.
So yeah, that definitely takes a minute.
Absolutely. Quality over quantity. Yes, I think that's a good strategy. So I wanted to ask just a couple more questions about like some of the performances that you've had. I've seen like some videos in I think the Voodoo Masochist Instagram stories, I want to say.
Yeah.
Performing and stuff. Do y'all have any like favorite venues that you'd like to like return to? Dream tour, anything like that?
I also do event coordinating around the Chicagoland area. I like to coordinate metal events, so I have been able to discover like a lot of cool venues and stuff like that. So, and I don't just like, I do it for the people. I want to be able to give artists and creators the platform that they deserve to exhibit what they've put so much of themselves into. So my favorite venues, some of the venues I would like to play at would be Cobra Lounge for sure, Reggie's,
House of Blues.
As
long as we don't have to pay for the tickets.
Free tickets, no.
Subterranean. I would really, in the nearest future, one of my goals is to do a metal and dark wave night at Debonair Social Club. So just any venue that would just like be down to support local musicians. Aragon Ballroom, Bottom Lounge, I wouldn't mind.
That's beautiful. Good manifestation.
Yeah.
Shout out to all the venues.
Shout out to all the venues.
We ain't doing nothing more.
DMs are open.
Right? For sure.
So what else are you looking forward to achieving like down the line? There's like one thing that you could do and y'all do this thing, y'all are like, I made it, I'm good, like this is my dream. What's that one thing?
Outdoor music festivals, outdoor music festivals. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I think it would be cool for us to throw music festivals or even partake in music festivals with all the big guys that inspire us. Summer Slaughter, yeah. Open Air Fest if they come back. Riot Fest, all that good stuff. One thing I'd also like to do too is be able to, make money from music, but be able to give that money back into the community and be able to invest that money into building up other people and other individuals and other organizations that actually need the help. So I would like to be successful enough to have enough to give back, so that's definitely.
We don't want to just have regular shows. We want to have benefit shows.
Yes, lots of benefit shows. I've done a lot of charity work and stuff like that, stuff for the community. So any chance that I'm able to use music as a tool to make something better, I would definitely jump on that.
Yeah, no, I've seen your artwork. I've seen your tattoo stuff. I've seen some of your murals.
Thank you.
It was that's how I originally found you specifically, was through your artwork, and then I was like, oh, she's in a band. Oh my god!
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I was just curious. Does anyone else in the band y'all have any other artistic outlets, like painting, I don't know.
I feel like everyone does. Adam is he's an insane gamer, and he is a goddamn Apex champion. For sure. Axel's just a boss. So everything he does, I feel like he's just naturally good at everything. Sam, what about you? I know Sam does music engineering and stuff like that.
I mean, recording, session work. I got poetry I need to release. I got a job to quit.
Oh yeah, okay. Got a whole list there, yeah.
Exactly. And I want to do it with people that I can trust. Even if I have to do it, for money, I still want to be able to give back in some fashion over time as well. Yeah. And whatever y'all want to do, hell, I'm willing to work.
No, I mean, other than writing music, I mean, I play a couple instruments, and I love to draw and paint and things like that. So I do a little bit of everything, but definitely music is my main one, the one that I love to stick to always go back to and express my emotions and things like that.
Yeah. What are some bands that in even movies as well, TV shows, other works of art that inspire you?
I was heavily inspired by vintage horror. So lots of black and white movies, lots of Alfred Hitchcock, lots of Universal monsters. From a young age, I am also inspired by metal. One of the bands that inspired me, I mean, my roots go all the way back. So I grew up listening with older parents. So I grew up listening to a lot of 1940 music to 1980s music. So I have a deep root into that. But one of the bands that kind of inspired me was OTEP for sure. Yeah, huge inspiration. So yeah, I've been told that OTEP isn't the nicest. They're not the nicest people. But the music is what fueled my angst as a teenager and inspired me. So yeah. What about you guys?
No, I mean, for me, I would say probably the biggest, couple of the biggest bands that I love and I take inspiration from. It would probably have to be I would say Vela Maya, August Burns Red, Born of Osiris. I love those guys, and I actually got a chance to meet a few of them during shows and things like that, and they're really, really cool, awesome dudes. And I just hope that they keep making music and everything, and hopefully in the future we can make something as memorable as those guys do for us, and we can do that for somebody else, which would be the best, greatest feeling that we get.
Yeah, and like have people kind of look up to the work that you and the effort that you put in to your art. Yeah, for sure.
And a big inspiration for me would be like my superheroes, my Marvel universe, Marvel Cinematic Universe. But at the same time, it's not just like I'm fueled by them or anything. It's also still like the music that follows. They have really cinematic music and things like that. And when it came to the end of Bow to None, I wanted that to feel cinematic. I wanted the ending to feel like it's the ending of a movie finishing or something. I wanted it to feel like it leaves an imprint there. It was like, oh man, that's cool.
We want people to headbang even after the song's over.
Yeah.
Oh, let me restart that headbang. Right. So music influences.
Ghost Rider, I saw you go.
Oh hell yeah! I gotta represent Marvel. But holy crap! Everything from Tchaikovsky to Amon Amarth to
some good shit.
to Two Boy Army and Gary Newman. I'm a huge synth fan, but I also like synths in my metal. So like 9 Inch Nails.
Hell yeah.
Anything to do with Fear Factory ever. And then of course modern stuff like Mars Volta. A lot of come on, brain.
I know, I said that.
All right, Soulfly wasn't one of them, but I'll put it up there. Between the Bird and Me. Oh my goodness.
For sure. Okay.
Yeah, they're so good. If you ever get the chance, Between the Buried and Me is wow. Yeah, they remind me. I'm also like really inspired by Freddie Mercury and Queen as well. So like, Between the Buried and Me, like they kind of remind me of a metal version of Queen because they incorporate so many different genres into what we create. And when Adam introduced me to that band, I also became heavily inspired by them as well. Yeah. That's the thing too, is that like my attention span is a little bit crazy and I like to experiment, and sometimes it's hard for me to stay focused on one genre. Even my playlists range from like, 9 Inch Nails to like, 19s, 30s jazz, So being able to incorporate everything that we love and then just like twisting it with our own seasoning is a really beautiful thing. And like we're so glad that people have been listening to it, and we just appreciate all of the positive feedback.
And we're glad we can offer something a little bit different than what people are already listening to in that category of music as well.
Definitely.
Yeah, no, we definitely want to, stand out a little bit more than, we don't want to be the typical local band. We try to go for something a little bit different so you can kind of like, be a little bit more memorable. People can remember us better and hopefully like our style a little bit better than what they're used to.
Another thing that's like important to me is that like when it comes to live events, like yes, we're musicians and artists and creators, but I also see it as if we're performers as well. And one of my goals is to have my audience entertained. We want them to be captivated, and we want them to enjoy their experience when they come into the venue to see us. So we all plan to do the best that we can to do that.
Yeah, that's like the best part, or at least my favorite part of like music in general is going to see it and making like the whole event of it. And beforehand, being sad when I gotta leave, the whole nine. Yeah. So thank y'all so much for like taking this time to sit and chat with me.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure speaking with you, and I'm so glad that you're in Chicago, and I hope to sometime meet you. So that's really, yeah, she's actually in Chicago. I thought she was finding her photos.
Definitely come out to our show.
Happy to highlight some Chicago bands in the area. So.
Well, thank you for picking
me. Thank you.
For picking us.
All right, have a good rest of your night, y'all.
All right, you too. Bye.